Hi Rinpoche, thank you for coming here in Brazil.
Thank you.
My first question is your childhood. You are the first generation that born in exile in Nepal, and I want you to talk about your impressions that time and your family and how was your childhood.
My families, came to India from Tibet in 1959 and 60, around that time, and then I was born in 61, so it was very difficult situation. So not speaking the language, the climate, the food change, not having anything, no money, and just completely very different situation. So it was very, very difficult for my parents. As a child, for me, you have a food enough, little bit, able to play, was fine. But for them, it was very, very hard. And then gradually, I went to monastery when I was around age 10, and then it was also kind of a very difficult situation in the monastery because all the elder monks and my teachers were trying to really find a place to build a bridge between the older generation and the new generation, because after everything destroyed in Tibet, now everybody's very fearful that nothing will be lost, everything will destroy, the transmission, the knowledge, the books, everything. So only way to survive is to able to build the next generation. While you are suffering with the poverty and food, no money, no place, and at the same time you have this big mission trying to build the next bridge, was not easy task.
Mother was from Bon tradition, that is the oldest tradition in Tibet, and your father was Nyingma, that is the other very old tradition, the first tradition Buddhist.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, and generally, the Tibet, originally everybody was a Buddhist practitioner, in before 7th century, everybody was a Buddhist practitioner, and gradually, when the Buddhism from India introduced to Tibet, so that there was a lot of exchange between old culture there and then new the spiritual tradition coming in Tibet, so back and forth. So I was a kind of example of that, in a way that my mother was very strong in the Buddhist tradition, my father was in a Buddhist background. So personally for me it was no any differences, as a child, and I've grown up very fortunate to grow up with my teachers as age 10. So I spent more of my life with my teachers than my parents. So my teacher was my father, my mother, my friend, my educator, my playmate, everything.
Talk a little bit about your relation with Dalai-Lama, your master and you, the relationship with Dalai-Lama.
Yeah. Well, Dalai-Lama has been really incredible support to the Buddhist tradition right from the beginning. He's a very good friend of my teacher. My teacher always says he's inspired so much with His Holiness Dalai-Lama to all the work he was doing. And His Holiness Dalai-Lama again and again emphasized to my teacher, saying, you have to preserve and protect the Buddhist teaching and make accessible, available for others, because I don't know about the Buddhist so much, so you have to do it. It's your job. Any help you need, I am there with you. Dalai Lama is always emphasizing that. And personally for me, before I came to the West, I was in 1987, he personally appointed me as a deputy assembly member of the government of Tibet, as representing Burn religion. And at the time he personally appointed me, and but on my personal level, I was just a young, fresh blood coming out of my education, and I was not so much interested in the politics. So I was a little bit nervous to tell him, sorry, thank you for appointing me, but I cannot really do this. This is not my inside wish. So I did not accept. But then I went to him saying, I'm going to the West to bring the Buddhist teaching in the West. So every now and then I have personal encounter with him, just trying to update him a little bit, what's happening and what I'm doing, and he's always very, very supportive, very kind.
How do you feel traveling all over the world and go to different places and teaching Dharma for people? How is your...
Well, I love it. As a growing up, I never traveled anywhere. To go to our next village or next town for shopping, it take 1 week of planning, week before. Now as I'm traveling, in 1 week I'm in 4 different countries. But of course it's a very different lifestyle. You are from one country to another country, one place to another place with different people. And so I just trying to learn to be home wherever I am, whoever I am with, trying to be comfortable, not trying to always think about another place, look for another place. So sometimes I forget when I'm leaving, which day I'm leaving, because I just don't want to think about. I only remember that I have to be at the right time in the right airport. So I don't think about it so much. I think not thinking about it it's very, very good.
What is the importance of the teaching of Buddhism nowadays? Like how you feel that?
Well, I think particularly in the Western world, there's a lot of interest in the Buddhism, in the Eastern philosophy. I think people are hunger because there's the exhaustion of materialistic view and having almost everything from materially speaking, but not having what really inner joy, inner sense of peace, inner sense of meaning of life, not finding that. And then I think people are really seeking for some really deep answers. And I think Buddhism definitely have a lot of things to say about it. So, and everybody has a different need, and they get different things. Some people are more intellectual, some people are more experiential. And Buddhism has definitely a good combination of both things to offer, experiences and very deep intellectual answers too.
What is be a Buddhist today, nowadays?
Well, I think generally the definition of being Buddhist is the one who takes refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. So that is a classic kind of definition of Buddhist. And if you look at it that way, I don't know how many people actually know Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. People who claim to be a Buddhist in the modern society, in the Western world, if you ask what is Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, I don't know. And do you really take refuge? What refuge is? Maybe numbers of Buddhist people will go down if a classic definition of Buddhist. But everybody have some sense of, I wanted to be Buddhist. I wanted to, not harm others. I wanted to find a wisdom within myself. I wanted to tame my mind. I wanted to help others. I wanted to maintain some sense of serenity and some sense of equanimity in my life through the meditation. Some sense people believe those things. So I think some sense to maintaining some of those Buddhist principles, able to integrate in a basic levels of life in every day. I think, probably that's what it means. The characteristic of the Burn tradition is it's very earthy. It's earthy in a sense, as a tradition, very earthy in a sense. It works with the nature, it works with the elements, it's worked with very sensitive about the environment, spirits, and a healing ability in the herbs and so on. So a lot of that aspect knowledge is there. On other level, on a psychological and spiritual level, also it's very very profound, such as Dzogchen meditation, basically a meditation of a light, a meditation of pure awareness, where it talks about the purest element of light. And in these practices, people have a record of many masters achieving a body of light. That means basically when they die, they don't leave their body. They all become a light. Among first Tibetan kings, they all never left their body. They all became a body of light, and it is believed that they were practicing Burn tradition. So it's very much very earthy and also very illuminating a tradition.
Well, talk about nature. How do you feel about this? What's happening in the planet now? The global warming, all these issues on oil and all the situation. How do you feel when you talk about with your students? It's like you think we're gonna save the planet?
Well, I think global warming is probably a manifestation, one thing, but the problem is not only global warming. The problem is the deep psychological belief that every human being has. This modern society has, that which is very much based on the value that whatever makes the money, it's valuable. So whatever you need to do to make money, if you need to really start a war so that economy will be good, you start the war. If you need to kill people, then you kill people. If you need to destroy the nature, you destroy the nature. The deep fundamental error of what the value is, I feel that is really like a bigger problem. And of course, as a result of that, global warming is one issue where people misuse. And like all the pollution in the environment, what is creating out of all the industry society, that is as a result of that. And I culturally, when first time I came to US, I was very, very shocked. Very shocked, because to see, we were 1 week, 20-30 people, we were having a meditation together, and out of 20-30 people living together, how much garbage have produced with these 20-30 people was few hundred monks will never produce in a month in India. You see, but it is so much waste, it's amazing.
The meditation say that the things are okay, like you just rest in the nature of your mind, but at the same time you have these illusions. How do you deal with that?
Well, I think
it's really moment for action in the moment now?
It's a moment for action, but moment for not ignorant action. Moment is not a moment for action with the confusion, actions with the doubt, actions with the greediness, And these are the actions what is happening constantly. That's what destroys society, that's what destroys the nature. And so the action, when we talk about action, I think they should be more like enlightened actions. That, what I mean by that, more enlightened actions, that everybody should have more sense of who they are, more sense of their connection to their own self, who they are, their being, and that understanding of that deep sense of stillness and silence, spaciousness in who they are. If they have a little more connection to that, it will answer a lot of things what they are looking for in their life. And they don't have to replace that always with the oils, monies, and wars and stuffs. There's a more awakening experiences that they will find the answer inside themselves. So I think that is the kind of, I think it's a problem. So of course we don't believe that you're just trying to be very peaceful and don't do anything. We believe peaceful action. We believe a peaceful warriorship. We believe a creativity. We definitely, and all those comes out from that stillness. Actions comes out from that stillness. Speech comes out from that silence. Creativity comes out from that openness of the mind. We believe that.
What is dream yoga?
Well, first of all, like in average life, so 1/3 of our lifetime we sleep. So average maybe 20 years or 25 years we sleep. So if you look at that time, 25 years sleeping in one lifetime, it's a big amount of time, right? So I think in all the ancient yogis, they figured out that's a lot of time to waste not knowing what's happening. So they're trying to go into the deep, into sleep state and dream state, how as a human being can continuously discover oneself, heal oneself, grow oneself. This spiritual and personal development can occur while you are sleeping. That is the idea. So the idea behind the dream yoga, that while you are sleeping, you can continuously develop your spiritual and personal life. And so that is the kind of the core part of it. In the ancient tradition, they work with the, like a body, for example. How does our physical body plays a role in our dream? Different energy centers, like different chakras in our body. How does these chakras play a role in our dream? How prana, like the energies, the wind energies, the pranic energies, or the chi energy, how does these energy plays role in our dream? How does our awareness plays in our dream? So these all are work of these body, the breath, and the mind, bringing them together and trying to use them as development of the sleep and dream yoga practice.
How to be aware in the dream?
Well, I think there's a very important part of the dream yoga practice is called lucid dreaming. So that means that trying to be lucid, conscious in your dream while you're dreaming. So, for example, if I'm dreaming, in a dream I realize, oh, this is a dream. That is called lucid dream. And first, there are exercises to have that. It's called lucid dreaming. So once you have that, then you're trying to transform in whatever you wanted to do. Then basically you can do anything what you wanted to do in your dream. You can unblock. For example, if somebody is very fearful in life of flying, then in your dream you can say, this is a dream, I can fly. You fly. Or if somebody is not able to walk very well, have some problem with it, they have done some scientific research, like that people have some problems with their health, and in their dream they went into a lucid dream and they said, oh, this is a dream, I can walk. So they just walk all night, and the next day they're able to walk more. They're able to heal the pain and their diseases through that, because the mind is giving message to the body saying, you're free. Why I'm free? It's a dream. So it's giving the right message because of it's a dream, and body is able to change.
And then the other book, The Healing Through Form, Energy and Light.
So the healing with the form, energy and light, it's the working with the 5 elements, which is earth, water, fire, air, space. So it's a deep understanding, or the ancient Tibetan understanding of what these 5 elements are on a many different levels. It's not only one level. On a very gross level, you have earth, water, fire, air, space that we all understand, that we are very dependent on. Our physical dimension is very dependent on that. And so there's a lot of work, the meditation, working with the nature. For example, working with earth, trying to feel the energy of the earth and trying to feel that energy from the earth and trying to feel the deep stability in oneself. Trying to feel connected with the fire and trying to feel the heat, the energy of the heat, trying to warm one's inner being. Trying to feel the air, so it's trying to connect with the air element, air spirit, trying to heal. So using the spirits and pure energies of the raw element, trying to heal disease, guide oneself, connect oneself, that's what we do. So that's healing with the form. Energy, when we say energy, it's referring to a wind, so that basically like a prana, a chi. So in our body, we have all the 5 winds of 5 elements. We have earth element, we have a water element, we have fire element, space element. Our flesh, physical flesh, is the earth. Our blood is the water element. Our warmth in our body is the fire element. The breathing is the air element. Our consciousness is the space element. So we have on a physical level of 5 elements, but these all, everything in our body, like 5 organs, are related to the 5 elements. 5 branches of the body are related to the 5 elements. 5 fingers related to the 5 elements. 5 senses are related to the 5 elements. Why all are 5, 5, 5, 5? Because they all follow the laws of the 5 elements. They are connected to that. So there are a number of exercises, ancient exercises. You do a one movement, you generate a lot of heat. That we generate your heat. Wherever, if the disease is related with the cold, you can heal. Problem with the digestion, you can heal. And or when you do another exercise, you feel so much space. You feel opening in your body, in your heart, in your consciousness. For whatever coming in your life, you feel so much openness. But simply doing one single exercise can open every energy in your body. Or you do one exercise that generates the air element. Immediately the wind element comes, and immediately your creativity, your expansion of your consciousness, your productivity level immediately can expand. Just because of one specific exercise, which is able to kind of invite and bring in a specific energy of wind, which then affects the psychological state of mind. For example, one simple exercise will be every given moment, if you draw attention, for right now, you draw attention toward inside. And you take a deep breathing. Be fully aware of your breath, and you inhale and then hold your breath in your heart area here. My attention is in this area of the body. My attention is in the breath. My mind is aware of that space around that energy, and I'm holding as long as I can.
That peace.
And you feel that deep sense of stillness, silence, and you feel deep sense of peace. You feel deep sense of groundedness, connectedness in yourself. And when you cannot hold the breath anymore, you go. You release. When you release that breath that you're holding in your heart, immediately you're going to feel a space, or opening of space. you feel opening, and gradually you feel some sense of openness in your heart, in your mind. And so that openness, if you're trying to force yourself, oh, I feel anxiety today, I wanted to be open, or I'm feeling angry, I wanted to open. You're talking to yourself like that, it doesn't help. You're agitated about your unopenness, and you are stressed because you are trying to open, and none of those helps to open. But simply drawing attention in the heart, hold the breath, releasing it, that exercise can help to feel a space element in you, which will help to recognize yourself, which help to connect with somebody, which help to able to be in this moment, which help to able to do whatever you're doing that moment in full attention. So a lot of attention disorder can be fixed like that. So I mean, there are many exercises like that, but this is just a taste.
I know you have a program that you apply to your students that is about to changing their life in a professional way, in a personal way, and what is the third one?
Family
way. Mm-hmm. Can you explain that? How did you design that?
Yeah, so the original intention came because sometime my feeling in Buddhism coming to the West, people trying to relate to the Dharma and Buddhism in a very passive way, like it's sometimes people use also as escape, or I couldn't find job, I have family problems, or I don't know where to find my peace, so I go to monastery, I'll go to a retreat and just sit there and quiet, and my problem will be taken care. People use as escape. Of course, it's fine to do the retreat, but you cannot run away from your problem, because the problem will follow you no matter where you go. Either you go in a church, it will follow you there. If you go in a temple, it will follow you there. If you're in a deep state of meditation, your problem is just fully present right in a deep meditation, interfering you. So somehow you have to deal, you cannot run away from it. So I feel like maybe Buddhism in general as a teaching is so rich psychology, so rich therapy, but people need to know, understand it is a very rich, and there is a specific method and a step-by-step process how one can work with this. But sometimes when the Buddhism came to the West, it's a very complex. You have a meditation on emptiness like 1,000 pages. So you have to read 1,000 pages to understand mind is empty. It's difficult for ordinary people. So how you do? You need a very practical step by step. So these are the few books that I have been working. One is called Tibetan Sound Healing, and one is I'm publishing now in the winter is called Awakening the Sacred Body. So something that you work with your body, something that you work with your speech, something that you work with your mind, and then you gradually change what are the things that you do need to change in your life. So I have set up all the training program for my students. So they have to change 63 points in their life. It doesn't matter how long they have been studying Buddhism, that doesn't count. It doesn't matter how much they know, it doesn't count. But it does matter what they know, how they change their life with what they know. So that means they have to actively practicing and changing life in a practical places in their life. Not to say I've been meditating Buddhism and I'm reading all these fancy books and next life I will be fine. This life, my life is mess, but next life will be fine. If it helps the next life, it got to help this life. Show me what you have changed. How you live your everyday life, what you spend, how you do your morning, how you relate with your family, how you treat your employee, how you breathe, how you deal with your traffic, your stress. It has to be living thing. So I train people, students, so they work very hard and some very amazing transformations in their life about how these practices are very effective.
Well, Rinpoche, I'm wanted to closing our interview. If you wanted to say your last message or something for us that something that maybe you think is missing?
Sure. Well, I think I don't think there's anything particularly missing. Maybe I will just say generally that in our life we always have a tendency to prolong every good thing we want to do in our life. For example, I wanted to rest. Oh, I will rest next week. I wanted to be, I should be kind with my family. Yeah, well, I'll deal with this problem, then I will be nice with them. Or I'm trying to take care of my health, food, diet. Oh, well, I'll finish this party and then next thing I will eat well. So all the things that you wanted to do are good to yourself, people are always successfully able to prolong this as a next project. So I think my suggestion will be, you say no now, say no now, or it will never happen. So there's no excuse. No matter how busy you are, no matter how crazy you are, no matter how confused you are, right now is the right time to start to change your life. Right now. And if you don't do now, you might never do it because you have a history of not doing it. Look back at your past, very clear. So now is the now. So that's my advice. Thank you.